Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, good morning. It is Tuesday. I don't know what time it is in the morning. Almost 9 o'clock. Tuesday, almost 9 o'clock, the 29th. Happy New Year is upon us. Just a couple more days. So I wanted to fill you in with what's going on New Year's here at the restaurant. And yep, the food police, the beer police busted me. I'll tell a little story about the beer police busted me. Everything that's going on here at the restaurant. So good morning, everybody who's tuning in. Good morning, good morning. A bunch of people tuning in. A lot of people are off from work, which is awesome. Hope you're enjoying your time off. Good morning, Aileen. Good morning, Candace. Wow, we've got about 16 people in Mountain. Good morning. Just drop a comment, hashtag live if you're tuning in live, or if it's on the replay, hashtag replay. Replay is usually done on YouTube. Good morning, Jenna. All right, so let's see. A couple of things. We, New Year's Eve, our New Year's Eve party box is becoming a massive, massive hit. I had no idea we were going to sell this many of these boxes. At first I said, you know what? Let's just do 30 of these boxes, 25, 30 boxes. You know, it'll be nice. People can do 20, we'll do 25 or 30 or $150 each. Then we'll open up for our regular business here and you know, be a nice night. We cannot seat after 10 o'clock in the restaurant. Not only on New Year's, but any day. Governor Cuomo about a month ago did a thing where no more after 10 o'clock in restaurants that have liquor licenses. We can't even serve food to go after 10 o'clock because we have a liquor license, one of Governor Cuomo's mandates. I don't like that. I'm losing business because of it. Last night on a Monday night, 10 o'clock, we had almost six people here at 10 o'clock that now we have to usher out the door at 10 o'clock to meet Governor Cuomo's mandate. These are people that are the same type of people that are sitting here at 6 o'clock and eating, and 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, that might have another dessert, maybe one more drink, maybe something else that I'm losing business on. So I'm not too happy with that mandate that Cuomo did. It's been affecting us. We are a later restaurant to begin with because a lot of people come up from New York City. And we're not a restaurant that you want to rush your food. So people like to eat and relax and enjoy. And so yesterday I saw a thing on a link from one of the restaurant groups I belong to on Facebook, where this guy in California, this restaurant owner in California, he's not allowed to have dine-in. You're not allowed to eat outside in California, right? So you can't do both. So people went into his restaurant, grabbed food, and went outside, right outside of his restaurant, and sat on the park bench, right in front of his restaurant, the public park bench. And the health department came and shut him down. And he was like, "This is insane. This is totally insane." So he actually parked his truck behind the health department's car, so the guy couldn't leave. And he's like, so then the police show up. And, and the guy's like, "This is crazy. This is insane. That's not even my property, and you're shutting me down. And I have employees there that are counting on this job. My chef just had a baby, and I have to lay all these people off, and they can't work here, and because this and this." And he was really upset. He's like, "What am I to do? I'm desperate. I'm desperate. What do you want me to do?" And he looked at the health department guy, and he's like, "You still get a paycheck." He goes, "You still get a paycheck, but all of my people in there don't get a paycheck." And he looked at the police officers. He goes, "All of you still get paychecks. You're coming here to shut me down because people are walking out my restaurant and they're happen to eating in front of my restaurant when they're not." He goes, "That's not my fault." He goes, "I'm abiding by the law." And it was just crazy. And so, I feel like, that 10 o'clock rule at night is affecting my business. It is affecting my business. So, let's see so good morning, everybody. A ton of people tuning in. Awesome. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about how the beer police busted me. Interesting story. New Year's Eve party boxes, they're $150. It comes with a ton of food. Let's see if I can see what's on here. So you get a bottle of wine, a bottle of white or red. You get a bottle of Prosecco. That's 2 bottles now. You get 2 cocktails. You get a lobster mac and cheese. You get our local cheese plate. You get a ribeye and salmon, 2 ribeyes, 2 salmons, however you want to do it. You get 2 entrees. There's a vegetarian option. You get 2 desserts. H&H bagels, 2 H&H bagels, wild smoked salmon, which is now in stock, the wild smoked salmon. We sell these in 3-ounce packages, and they come in 12-ounce packages. You can buy those separate. We all have these in stock. So they're coming with the H&H bagels. So we get H&H bagels from New York City now. They come in 2 to 3 days a week. They come in 6 packs. They come in frozen. So they're frozen at H&H Bagels. They bake them, they freeze them right then and there. So it's not like you're buying a stale frozen bagel. So this is the proper way to freeze things, when they freeze them right there and then when they're fresh. So if you took bagels home and they sat for 2 days and you decide to freeze them, you're going to freeze a stale bagel. This is freezing a fresh bagel. So these bagels are awesome. You thaw them, pop them in the oven for a couple minutes in toaster oven, and they are amazing. So a choice of sesame or a choice of everything. We sell those by themselves as well, so you can buy just a 6-pack for $9. The wild smoked salmon, the wild smoked coho salmon is $9.99 for a 3-ounce package. So the reason how we got hooked up with this is we called our salmon supplier in Alaska. And I said, Kendall, I need wild smoked salmon. And he goes, we don't do what you're looking for, the one for lox, the one for bagels. He goes, but Acme doesn't. Acme buys a ton literally a ton of coho salmon from us to smoke. Here's the guy's number. Give him a call. That's how we got hooked up with that. Wild smoked salmon, you get these French donuts. These French fruit-filled beignets are amazing. So we've been serving them for private parties, and we found them at a food show the same time we found our pizzas a little over a year ago. We found these great frozen pizzas that come from Naples, from one of our high-end importers, high-end distributors from New York City, and they also bring in these donuts imported from France. So we buy them for parties, and I'm like, let's just start putting them on our grocery list, and let's put them on the New Year's Eve party box. And the donuts, we just put them on yesterday, and we've sold a couple dozen yesterday, so I had to actually buy more today. The thing with, so I did some more research on these donuts, and I found a couple Whole Foods that stock these donuts, these French beignets. Same exact brand. It's in the retail packages. They sell 8 for $6.50. We are selling 6 for $3.50. So our price is significantly better than Whole Foods. So same brand, same donuts, these French beignets, amazing price. So I did find it in Whole Foods. Whole Foods don't stock them, but I did find one of the larger ones, Whole Foods, that did stock them. I just wanted to do some price comparisons. I want to make sure that our prices are in line, and boy, ever our prices are in line with that. So these French donuts are amazing. You just basically thaw them room temperature, and when they're room temperature, they're amazing. And again, they're frozen while they're fresh. So organic cream cheese, you get a mimosa kit, which is organic orange juice, and a bottle of bubbles, so of sparkling Sauvignon Blanc. So that's what our mimosa, that's what our New Year's Eve kit is. You need to, somebody's saying, do you ship to Michigan? We would love to ship all over. Let's see, what was I saying? Where was I going here? You want to order these? 647-3000. Jamie's getting her nails done right now, so wait till 9:30 to order these. 647-3000. 647-3000, order these. I originally, like I said, wanted to do 25 to 30. I actually bought more smoked salmon. I bought more orange juice. I bought more everything so we can keep going with these. If you want to eat here on New Year's Eve, we're probably only going to do takeout because these boxes are so successful. They're massively successful. We're probably just going to do takeout. That's the story with that. You can order these boxes and add anything you want onto them. So if you wanted, if it's 3 of you, you say, hey, you know what, I want to add on a mushroom risotto, and I want to add on an extra steak, or I want to add on the tikka masala, your chicken tikka masala. You can do that. You can just add on as you want, so you can keep building. Of course, we're always friendly to people who have allergies. If you have a food allergy and you can't have wheat, then we can make you a gluten-free version of the mac and cheese. So that's no problem. I cannot make gluten-free bagels or gluten-free donuts, but we can make a gluten-free mac and cheese. So if you're allergic to lobster, we can substitute mushrooms or something in for that. We're happy to do that. So we're happy to accommodate food allergies, and you can always order more. All right. So the beer police. The beer police busted me. So back in March, when all this first happened, right? Second week in March, when all this first happened, and they shut us down, and we could not have indoor dining in restaurants. We couldn't have indoor dining in restaurants till June. So what happened was the beer distributor, Craft Beer Guild, is like, they're nervous because places are getting shut down. So they're like, we got all this beer we got to sell. So the sales rep was like, hey, I got cans of Heady Topper, I got all this good stuff. They're selling me this beer knowing that my restaurant's closed inside, knowing that I'm closed inside, right? So I look at Cody, I'm like, Cody, wow, we can get some really good beer here and we can probably do a great promotion. So I bought 4 cases of IPAs, of really good IPAs, not cheap, really good IPAs. So they came in and Jamie's like looking at me like, I can't believe you just spent all this money on IPA beers. We're like, they're shutting us down. I'm like, well, we're still doing takeout. And she's like, she was a little upset. I'm like, trust me, I'll sell this stuff. I will totally sell this stuff. So I put out a special price. Cody and I did a great little video back then, a promotional video that's called, the Bailout Marcus IPA 4-pack. And we took all these 4 awesome IPAs and blew them out for $19.99, a 4-pack mixed. It was such a huge success, we never stopped doing it. We've just been going and going and going with it. However, we've not been able to get Heady Topper in quite some time. We had a couple rounds of Heady Topper back when the shutdown happened, and we weren't able to get Heady Topper, and we were wondering why Craft Beer Guild just wasn't getting us, the beers we were wanting. So we're getting these really good beers from other distributors, like the OJ on Parole, all these awesome IPAs. So the rep ended up telling us that, well, I can't really sell that to you because we asked for it. I really can't sell that to you. I'm like, what do you mean you can't sell us Heady Topper? He goes, well, you guys are doing takeout. You guys are doing takeout on Heady Topper. So, Heady Topper, folks. Heady Topper and certain other beers like Hill Farmstead. When a restaurant buys these beers, they only want you to consume them in the restaurant. This is why these typically don't go. They're not supposed to. They're not allowed to go to stores. Equilibrium cans, Heady Topper, Hill Farmstead. There's certain beers that they do not want in stores at all. They want a restaurant to buy them, keep them in their possession, and then serve them in the restaurant. Well, back in March, April, May, we weren't allowed to have anybody in the restaurant. So Craft Beer Guild is dumping this stuff. The distributor Craft Beer Guild from New Paltz, which is a Sheenan company, they're dumping all this beer. What do they want me to do with it? Like, am I just going to sit here and waste it until it opens 3-4 months later? The beer is stale. So myself, along with everybody else, I'm assuming, was selling it to go. It's the only way you could do. But they busted me because I'm so vocal on Facebook. So I'm vocal on Facebook. So they busted me. They look, you're posting it. Other restaurants aren't posting it. So I'm like, what does the Alchemist expect me to do? To buy their beer, sit on it, and then throw it out and waste it and waste money just so they can keep making beer? I said, that's ridiculous. So we weren't allowed to get Heady Topper for a while. So now we're back on because I had to promise them that we're not going to send it out the door and things like that. And so now they're actually sending us Heady Topper again, but for a while there we couldn't get it. So that's the story with that. So if you're getting Heady Topper from anywhere, don't publicize it. Don't go home and post it, whether it's any restaurant, because the food police are out there and they're watching. They watch these posts. So if you're tagging Heady Topper, be like, I just got Heady Topper from here and this and that, and they might go back and research where it came from and then put that account on hold, which is what happened to us. But as a result of that, we got all these other amazing IPAs that we wouldn't have been really searching out because Heady Topper sells itself, right? Heady Topper sells itself. So we got all these other really cool. Cody loves going through the lists of all the distributors, and Cody's got great connections because Cody is a brewer himself. If you know Cody works here. He only works one night a week now, Monday, since we reopened in June. He's been here Monday nights. He used to be here Monday, Thursday nights. But he's a brewer at Great Life Brewing in Kingston. So Cody knows beer. In fact, we always have one of Cody's beer on tap, one of his beers on tap, on draft. So we are, so Cody has a lot of ins with a lot of reps and sometimes gets first dibs on a lot of things because they say, hey, I know you'll enjoy this, and because he's with them anyway. So we get all these awesome stuff. So our IPA 4-pack has turned into a New York Strong pack, or a New York Support New York pack. The current one has 4 New York IPAs in it, and we're probably going to stick to that theme to keep supporting New York breweries. in that pack. So that's what you'll see. You'll see some awesome New York breweries in that pack. So thanks everybody for dropping comments, #lives and everything. I appreciate that. So really appreciate it. A lot of people on, over 30 people on right now on my screen anyway. Everybody, awesome. Everybody tuning in. Thank you very much. So yeah, so the beer police busted us. We weren't allowed to get Heady Topper for a while, so I'm not allowed to send this out the door. But back in March, April, and May, I don't know what they were expecting me to do. I guess they were expecting me just to keep it here and let it expire and go bad, which doesn't make business sense. So my only option was to sell it. But I guess they said, I'm more vocal on social media than a lot of other accounts. So for a while there, we weren't even interested in getting Heady Topper because there's all these awesome other beers, and there's really amazing beers out there. So Bill is saying support New York, absolutely support New York. So Cody has fun procuring all these New York beers every week and reaching out to his buddies. I don't even know what's in the packs right now. The packs are always constantly changing. It's $19.99 to go. And we were doing it in-house. So if this all summer long, if you came and ate in-house and got those 4-packs, we would charge $25 or something. It was something ridiculously low. It was really low. The beers themselves are $8 each. So $8 each. So, but when they're mixed in a pack, we give them a discount, so you can try their beers. If we just sold Heady Topper by themselves, it'd be a lot more because Heady Topper is the desired beer, right? So we want to turn you on to other beers that normally don't sell themselves. So that's why we give a price break for those. So to be fair, and I think that's about it for now. That's about it for now. I hope everybody has a great day. Drop any comments like what you're planning on doing for New Year's Eve. Like I said, our party boxes are super popular. Had no idea we were going to sell this many. If we can do this every year for New Year's, it's not even worth it to open up. Revenue-wise, we'll make as much money or as much top-end revenue on these party boxes. So it's kind of, Jamie and I are like, gee, we're going to be free this New Year's Eve. Like, what are we going to do New Year's Eve? So we're the ones that are like, okay, where are we going? Who are we hanging out with? What are we doing? Which is a great feeling because we've always had a DJ here every year, and we stay late and we dance and we have a great time. So David Ness is saying, I've never had Heady Topper. It's an awesome beer, David. If you're into IPAs, it is sort of the benchmark for IPAs. It is really the benchmark for IPAs, the Heady Topper. Having a conversation with Pete Oates last week from Equilibrium. He was like, that was one of the beers that got him turned on to making beer. Pete from Equilibrium. In fact, I broke the law for Pete from Equilibrium years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago. We got back from Tap New York, the big beer festival. The big beer festival. Somebody's saying 6 o'clock. Yes. What time? You can pick up. Yes. Guys, you can pick it up at 6 o'clock. Call Jamie after 9:30 today, 647-3000. Actually, yeah, after 9:30, 9:45, and she'll set you up a time. You can pick up till probably 7 o'clock. So about 6 or 7 years ago, Pete was on our bus to Tap New York, and he was just getting into good beer. So he gets back and he goes, Marcus, what's up with that Heady Topper? And I said, yeah, it's like an awesome IPA. He goes, would you mind if I buy a can to take home, buy 2 cans to take home? So again, I broke the law, the food police, the beer police. So I broke the law, and Pete took it home. Pete took home the 2 cans of this. So I'm sure the beer world is happy that, the beer community is happy that I broke the law that day, because Pete took this home and he actually cloned the yeast in it and then brought me back a beer about a month later, and he goes, taste this. It was in a growler, and I tasted it. I'm like, this is good. He goes, it's good. I said, Pete, this is awesome beer. I was like, where'd you buy this? He goes, Marcus, I didn't buy this. Remember that can of Heady Topper I got from you last month? I was like, yeah. He goes, I cloned the yeast. I said, you did? He goes, yeah, I cloned the yeast, and I go, he goes, you think I'm onto something? I said, Pete, you're so onto something here. I was like, that's your first attempt? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you're onto something here. Like to grab a can of Heady Topper, clone the yeast, and make this beer your first round. He's like, yeah. I'm like, you're onto something, and that's what got him going. I'm like, okay, brewery time. So I'm sure the beer community is happy that I broke the law that day by letting Heady Topper out the door, because that sparked Pete and his quest to do Equilibrium Brewery. So and Pete was here the other day, and he goes, this is the benchmark IPA right here. So if you've not had Heady Topper, it's an awesome beer, awesome IPA. And they say to drink it out of the can. They always say to drink out of the can. They don't want you to put it into a box, into a glass. So that's the story with that. All right, folks, I got to go for my run, and I got a bunch of appointments today, phone calls, all that kind of stuff. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Again, everybody stay safe, eat healthy, take your vitamins, drink water. If you wear a mask, you kind of have to wear a mask everywhere. Make sure you're wearing it properly, sanitize it. I was listening to another doctor yesterday I listen to so many podcasts on health and nutrition, saying that the way society is using masks makes things worse, because nobody's using a mask properly. Masks are good when they're specifically used properly, and I've said this all the time. You should be spraying your mask down with hydrogen peroxide. You don't want to wash your mask in the washing machine, because what happens is the particles, they start tearing apart, and when you put it on, you breathe those in, and those particles that get into your lungs may never get out of your lungs, and you're doing a little more long-term damage. So this doctor was saying, it's not good the way society is using masks. They're not meant to be used that way. When they're worn properly and used properly, they're effective. But he's actually said we're doing worse damage by you see some people's masks and they're dirty, they're filthy, they're touching them all day, they're spreading things. So it all makes sense. So hydrogen peroxide or colloidal silver. Colloidal silver is probably my choice, more expensive, but colloidal silver, you spray your mask down to when you take it off in between uses. You don't see a surgeon going from patient to patient operating with the same mask. It's one and done. And the stores right now, I gotta tell you, I went into some of the stores for the Airbnb that we were setting up. We had our first guest on Christmas Day. I had to go into some stores and grab some odds and end things. So I had to go into Marshall's or At Home. I had to stop in the Walmart a couple times. These stores were mobbed before Christmas, insane, and no social distancing inside these at all, mobbed, and everybody's sitting there fidgeting with their masks and everything. And so this doctor was saying these masks are not serving the purpose right now because people are misusing them. So make sure you properly wear a mask if you are wearing a mask, and throw out constantly in the garbage properly. New mask, things like that. So sanitize them properly. I was reading some stuff on OSHA as well. OSHA wants in the workplace 19% oxygen in your environment. So anything under 19% is a hazard, is a workplace hazard. And all the mask stuff I saw, it limits your oxygen to 17%. So this is why a lot of people are taking these masks and pulling them out so they can actually get air into them and can breathe into them, because they are limiting your airflow, which is not a good thing as well. So use your mask properly, take your vitamins, get sunshine, drink lots of water, eat healthy food. We all know what healthy food is. It's not cheese fries. Keep your immune system rocking and rolling. That's the story with that. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. Really appreciate all the support. Jamie and I could not be doing this without everybody. So our plan is to keep rocking and rolling here, keep going, and serving good food, creating good values, and keeping our staff employed. All right, folks. Jamie will be back later. I think we're going to do a Wine Time Live today. We're talking about scheduling that in, and maybe, I'm not sure if she'll get a happy hour live in today. All right, talk to you later.